For decades, the six-figure salary was the ultimate American trophy. It meant you made it. It meant freedom, a big house, and a fancy car. But in 2024, that trophy is made of plastic. If you are earning $100,000 today in a major U.S. city, congratulations. You are officially lower middle class. You aren't buying a Lamborghini, you are struggling to buy eggs. You aren't investing, you are drowning in rent, student loans, and inflation that the government claims doesn't exist. They told you to go to college, get a degree, and get a good job. You did everything right. So why does your bank account look so wrong? Welcome to the $100,000 trap. The greatest magic trick the economy ever pulled on you. And today we are going to reveal how it works. Let's rewind the clock to 1994. The year Friends premiered, the PlayStation 1 was released, and Amazon was just a tiny bookstore run out of a garage. It feels like a different lifetime, doesn't it? Back then, earning $100,000 wasn't just good money. It was royalty status. It put you firmly in the upper crust of society. If you walked into a room and said you made six figures, heads would turn. You were the rich uncle at Thanksgiving who paid for everything. You drove the sleekest car on the block, likely a brand new convertible, and your neighbors actually envied you. Let's look at the math because it is painful. In 1994, the median home price in America was roughly $130,000. Do you understand what that means? With a $100,000 salary, you earned nearly the entire cost of a house in a single year. You could easily buy a beautiful 4-bedroom home in the suburbs, put 20% down without sweating, and pay off the mortgage in under a decade. It didn't stop at housing. You could support a family of 4 on that single income. Your spouse didn't have to work if they didn't want to. You could fully fund your retirement accounts, take 2 vacations a year to Hawaii or Europe, send your kids to college without drowning them in debt, and still have money left over for a boat you didn't even need. $100,000 was the golden standard. It was the finish line of the American dream. It was psychologically anchored in our brains by movies, TV shows, and our parents as the ultimate definition of success. We were trained to believe, reach 100K and you have won the game. But here's the problem. The number stayed the same, but the world changed completely. The map you are using to navigate your life is 30 years outdated. Fast forward to today, 2024. That same $100,000, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, it has lost over 54% of its purchasing power since 1994. Let that sink in. You are holding the same amount of dollars, but they are worth half as much. To live the exact same lifestyle your parents had with $100,000 in the 90s, you don't need $100,000 today. You need roughly $287,000. If you are making $100K now, you aren't rich. You are barely matching the purchasing power of someone making $48,000 in the 90s. You are chasing a ghost. You are running a marathon where the finish line keeps moving further away every time you get close. And the worst part? The government tells you inflation is under control. But your grocery receipt, your rent check, and your shrinking savings account tell a very, very different story. So, where does the money actually go? Why does a six-figure income feel like minimum wage with a tie? To understand the glitch, we have to stop looking at the gross number and perform a brutal autopsy on your paycheck. It starts with the silent partner in your business, the government. Before that money even touches your hands, it gets sliced and diced. Federal tax, state tax, Social Security, Medicare. If you live in a hub like New York or San Francisco, where these high-paying jobs actually exist, you are kissing nearly 30% to 35% of that paycheck goodbye instantly. Your $100,000 is now roughly $68,000. That's about $5,600 a month. Still sounds manageable? Wait, the glitch is just getting started. The biggest predator in the modern economy is housing. In the 1990s, the golden rule was never spend more than 30% of your income on rent. Today, that rule is a fantasy. In major cities, the average rent for a decent one-bedroom apartment is approaching $3,000. Boom. More than 50% of your take-home pay is gone just to keep a roof over your head. You aren't paying a mortgage to build your own equity, you are paying a mortgage to build your landlord's equity. Now let's talk about the American tax, student loans. You likely needed a degree to get that $100K job, right? Well, the system demands its blood money back. The average monthly payment for a master's degree holder is easily $500 to $800. Add in health insurance premiums, which have risen faster than almost any other sector in the economy. Add in a car payment, because American public transit is a joke, and car insurance and gas. Suddenly, you are staring at the bottom of the barrel. We haven't even bought food yet. We haven't paid for internet, phone bills, or utilities. This phenomenon has a name. Economists call it being a Henry high earner not rich yet. You make too much money to qualify for any government assistance or subsidies, but you live in an area with a cost of living so high that you can't actually save money. You are trapped in a financial purgatory. And here is the most insidious part of the glitch: shadow inflation. While the price of fun stuff, like big screen TVs and fast fashion, has gone down, the price of survival has skyrocketed. This is known as Baumol's cost disease. But let's call it what it is, a trap. The cost of the big three, housing, education, and healthcare, has exploded by over 200% in the last 2 decades. These are the non-negotiables. You need a home. You need healthcare. You need education to compete. The system is designed to extract maximum value from these necessities. It knows you will pay whatever it takes. So even as your salary bumps up to $105,000 or $110,000, the cost of these 3 pillars rises just enough to keep you running in place. You aren't bad with money. Stop letting financial gurus on TikTok gaslight you into thinking this is about your $5 latte. If you cut every coffee you ever bought, you still wouldn't have a down payment for a house that costs nearly $1 million. The glitch is that the ladder to the middle class has been pulled up. In the past, a high salary meant you could accumulate assets. Today, a high salary is just a high-speed treadmill. You are running faster than ever, sweating more than ever, but you aren't moving an inch. You are one medical emergency, one layoff, or one bad breakup away from financial ruin despite being in the top bracket of earners. You are playing a game of Monopoly where all the properties have already been bought, the rent is 10 times your salary, and passing go only gives you enough to survive one more round around the board. But the trap isn't just external. It's not just the government or the landlords. There is a psychological virus planted deep inside your brain that makes escaping this trap nearly impossible. We need to talk about the Diderot Effect. The concept comes from the French philosopher Denis Diderot. He lived a humble life, until one day he was gifted a beautiful, expensive scarlet robe. He loved the robe. But when he wore it, he noticed that his old rug looked dirty and cheap in comparison. So he bought a new rug. Then, his old chair looked out of place next to the new rug, so he bought a new chair. This chain reaction continued until Diderot was entirely broke, sitting in a fancy room he couldn't afford. He famously wrote, "I was the absolute master of my old dressing gown, but I have become a slave to my new one." This is exactly what happens when you hit that $100,000 milestone. You don't just put the extra money in the bank. You upgrade your identity. It starts small. You stop bringing lunch from home and start ordering Sweetgreen. You trade the Honda Civic for a leased BMW because you need a reliable car for work. You move from the affordable apartment to the luxury complex with the gym you never use. This is called lifestyle inflation, or Parkinson's law of money. Expenses always rise to meet income. But in the modern age, this effect is weaponized by something Diderot didn't have: social media. Sociologists call this relative deprivation. In the past, you only compared yourself to your neighbors. If you had a slightly better car than Bob next door, you felt rich. Today, you are comparing yourself to the top 0.1% on Instagram. You scroll past a 22-year-old crypto millionaire in Dubai and a tech founder buying a yacht. Suddenly, your $100,000 salary feels like poverty. The system feeds on this insecurity. It knows you feel not quite rich enough yet, so it offers you the bridge to cross that gap: consumer debt. To look like the 100K earner you think you should be, you use credit cards, you finance the furniture, you take out a loan for the wedding. You are buying a lifestyle that your salary should support, but mathematically can't. This leads to the final, most dangerous phase of the trap: golden handcuffs. Once you inflate your lifestyle to match your 100K income, you lose your freedom. You cannot quit the job you hate because you have a mortgage that demands $4,000 a month. You cannot take a risk to start a business because you have car payments. You are terrified of your boss, terrified of layoffs, and terrified of the economy. The high salary that was supposed to buy you freedom has actually bought you a more expensive cage. You are running on a treadmill set to maximum speed. You look successful to everyone on the outside, but on the inside, you are exhausted, anxious, and living paycheck to paycheck. You have become a high-functioning asset for the economy, producing value, paying taxes, and consuming products, while keeping almost nothing for yourself. The system is working perfectly, it just isn't working for you. So, is the game over? Is the American dream dead? Not exactly. But the old version of the dream, the one where a high salary alone guarantees a good life, is definitely buried 6 feet under. The solution to the $100,000 trap isn't simply to try and make $200,000, because if you don't fix the glitch in your brain, you will just build a bigger, more expensive cage. You will simply upgrade from golden handcuffs to diamond handcuffs. You'll buy a nicer car to drive to a job you hate even more. The only way to win a rigged game is to stop playing by their rules. Real wealth in 2024 isn't about having a 6-figure income to flex on Instagram. It isn't about the logos on your bag or the zip code of your apartment. It is about the gap between what you make and what you spend. It is about being asset rich rather than just income rich. You have to ruthlessly cut the fake needs that society imposes on you. You have to fight the Diderot Effect. Drive the old car, stay in the smaller apartment, ignore the Joneses because the Joneses are broke. Use that $100,000 not to buy status, but to buy your freedom back. One share, one asset, one investment at a time. Don't let a number on a paycheck define your success. A person making $60,000 who owns their time and has zero debt is infinitely richer than a person making $150,000 who is drowning in payments and anxiety. The goal isn't to look rich. The goal is to be free. And that is exactly what we explore on this channel. We don't give you boring financial advice. We give you the blueprint to decode the economy and the systems designed to keep you profitable for them. But poor for yourself. If you are ready to stop chasing ghosts and start building a reality that you actually own, you are in the right place. Hit that subscribe button to join the minority who understands how the machine actually works. The system wants you to be a blind consumer. I want you to be a free thinker. The choice is yours. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.